Greetings to Bishop Park, Cabinet, and members of Annual Conference. My name is Lenore Hosier, and I'm not just an elder here in our conference. Many of you know me as the Conference Secretary of Global Ministries. I've also been a mission ambassador to Israel and Palestine, and I've also been an individual volunteer in mission with Global Ministries. I know firsthand the challenges in the region of Israel and Palestine, with about 10 trips there myself. I've worked with the United Methodist Missionaries and Global Ministries staff in and for Israel and Palestine. I also sought to serve as a missionary in Bethlehem Bible College, but was denied my clergy visa by the Israeli government because I was a Christian seeking to serve in the region of the West Bank. I know personally how challenging discussions about this matter can be. If you were here at Annual Conference last year, you may remember that you approved Resolution Number 3, which asked Bishop Park to set up a divestment task force related to the current situation in Israel and Palestine. We thank the bishop for naming 7 persons to our divestment task force, which met for the first time in December and has met 3 times since. Our task has been set forth to review and research companies that may be contributing to the occupation of the Palestinian territories. Our efforts have sought to generally identify the overall purpose of the divestment task force via information gathering, discussions, and collaboration with United Methodist conferences that have explored and or moved towards or away from actions of divestment. Perhaps the most significant conclusion we have drawn from our preliminary inquiries is simply that the issue, the complexities, and the specifics surrounding both the issue and the action of divestment require patient, careful, and discerning review and research. And because of this, we earnestly covet your prayers so that Jesus might be guiding us as we continue in preparation to formulate a recommendation for you for the 2015 Annual Conference. At the present time, the Divestment Task Force has gathered a vast amount of resources and information that includes companies highlighted by many of our United Methodist and non-United Methodist churches. We also have details surrounding the nature of such investments and financial consequences, or lack thereof, if divestment is pursued. And there is also general information surrounding the occupation of Palestine territories. In addition to resources such as these, the Divestment Task Force has invited and received consultation by a variety of individuals concerning these aspects of current fund investments within the conference and individuals who have participated in divestment explorations within the United Methodist Church. We've had 2 fairly lengthy conference calls, one with David Wildman, who is our Middle Eastern specialist at the General Board of Global Ministries, and one with the investment manager for the General Board of Pensions, Dave Zellner. We have examined the holdings of our Conference Committee on Loans and the United Methodist Stewardship Foundation. We wrote to the conference trustees and missional board and determined that their funds are with the Loan Fund and the Stewardship Foundation. We are striving to understand what it means that some of these companies are part of larger mutual funds or money markets that we have invested in. We thank you for all of those who have been contacted and willingly and graciously share their information with us to help facilitate our requests. Moving forward from here, it is our intention to continue our research and review the issue via discussion with investment managers concerning the nuances and potential complications of divestment. The Divestment Task Force will then work towards understanding the allegations concerning each company and why they are alleged to contribute to the occupation of the Palestinian territories. And finally, the task force has begun to create avenues in which we invite you as individuals from the conference to communicate feedback, questions, concerns, before making a recommendation for next year's conference. We wholeheartedly desire you to share with your concerns concerning this issue, regardless of their position, so that we might get a complete account to provide to the conference in 2015. Even more, we hope and conceive of our efforts as both a task of inquiry and of education. And this understanding requires learning from the perspectives and viewpoints of all members within the Susquehanna Annual Conference. To this end, we have a display table over in Brubaker. I know many of you have looked over that information, picked some of that up. There's also a place for you to leave some feedback for us, and we encourage you to do so. There are study guides, there are information sheets, and we would ask that you would take the time in the next day to look over those and take those along for discussion in your local churches. We continue to gather items to post online for you to review, and we will be grateful for your input for further items. A special event is being held this summer at Ginghamsburg United Methodist Church in Ohio called Walking with Palestinian Christians for Holy Justice and Peace, and we're hoping that some of those folks from our conference might attend. There are brochures on our display table. And whenever we look at it and say, well, we don't know if we can really make a difference, what difference will just a few of us make? We realize that even in today's New York Times, the United Methodist Church Board of Pension has been recognized because we divested from the G4S stock, and we are taking away only $110,000, but it is a show of solidarity with our Christian brothers and sisters from that part of the world to let them know that we are here to support them. We thank the board for their sensitivity to this issue and being willing to work with those conferences. We do ask for your support via prayer and hope that you will use every opportunity to communicate your concerns, your questions, and your viewpoints so that we might complete our task in the way that glorifies the Lord of all creation, the people of Israel and Palestine, the churches of the Susquehanna Conference, and our members who support our connection of churches so faithfully. Our Divestment Task Force thanks you for all your help, and we ask for your continued prayers. Thank you, Bishop.
Would you express your appreciation for their work on our behalf, and we will receive your report next year with the proposals. Thank you very much.